Hey there. If you don't already know who I am, my name is Ben Bowen. I'm the CEO and founder of the Open Door Media Group, and we help entrepreneurs, maybe like you, scale their businesses. But more than just learning to scale their business or helping to scale their business, we help you do it in a way that actually lights you up and makes your life better. We build systems and dashboards and frameworks within your company so it can finally grow without all the friction that you've been having to date. And trust me, we've been doing this over 20 years. We've learned so much for our own businesses, and we just want to pass it on to you. So in today's video, we are going to talk about, quite frankly, a LinkedIn post I made the other day that I said to my team, I want to turn this into a video. So the LinkedIn post was called 15 years ago, I started setting myself free, or something like that. I can't remember exactly how we ended up phrasing it before it went out. Actually, it may have been closer to, I just set myself free for the third time in 15 years. I think that's it. And what I was talking about, I was referring to a 15-year period of where I was at the beginning running my businesses like so hard, working so hard, high levels of focus, high levels of output, and high levels that couldn't consistently be sustained, which was really the biggest problem with why the growth kind of went up and down, up and down. It was attached to my energy cycles. And I have a high level of energy, but it's not perfect. I'm human. They would go up and down based on different things happening in my life, whether it was fatigue from work, things happening in my personal life, problems in the business, getting sick, going on vacation, whatever it was, my life and the business would fluctuate together on this same line. So 15 years ago, I needed to start setting myself free. And I actually had a friend of mine, actually really a mentor, who I was talking to, I think over coffee. It's a long time ago. Can't remember. And he was saying to me, why don't you get a bookkeeper? You're always talking about the stress of entering everything into QuickBooks and making the journal entries and make sure everything balances, the bank account and everything balances at the end of every month. And you're always behind and it's top of mind and you're losing sleep over it. And I'm like, yeah, but like who else is going to do it? Well, he introduced me to a bookkeeper, and literally for way less time of my time and way less money than I thought it was going to take to be able to do this. Like I barely even noticed losing that money out of the balance sheet. It was so affordable, and it still is so affordable. I freed myself of that mental weight and then monthly numbers and making sure everything balanced, and I could really think about growing the business. And I kind of like took a big jump there. I was able to sustain my energy more in the business. I was able to focus. I was able to take that energy and that time and put it towards the things that were more important in the business, which was supporting my staff, supporting my customers, and growing the business. And then, fast forward like another 10 years almost. I can't believe it took so long, but another 10 years, I again was talking to another friend, and he introduced me to this theory by someone named Dan Martell. So I guess it was about 5 years ago around COVID, called Buy Back Your Time. And the number one person you should add to your business as an entrepreneur is a full-time executive assistant. And at that point, I immediately hired Willie. Willie is still working with me today. Willie is amazing, and it did so many things for me. It freed me up from my inbox. It freed me up from my calendar. It freed me up from small little tasks that consumed my time, that were very reactive in nature every single day and could consistently get me off track from the focus work that I needed to do to really move my company forward and my clients' companies forward. So the other thing that it did for me, having an EA, is it softened that feeling of like the buck stops here, or everything is on my shoulders. All the responsibilities in the business are on my shoulders, because Willie was able to manage a lot of those small fires day to day, or at least, park that fire that later in my calendar the next day, so I could deal with it when I kind of had time in my calendar where I knew that I would be dealing with these sorts of things. So I would have kind of the mental energy and time to do that. So that was such a game changer, which brings us to today, the third time over 15 years. So 5 years since the last time I really leveled up my time. And it's all about AI, and everyone's hearing about AI, and everyone's stressed about AI. And I totally get the thinking. I started with excitement and curiosity with AI about 2 years ago. And then I went through a panic phase, a very short panic phase, but I have been just lit up by the thought of AI, and not even the thought of it, the way we have implemented it into our business and into our customers' business. It really is lightening the physical manual load in our businesses for ourselves and our staff to be able to work on the things that are most important. It's kind of like adding that bookkeeper 15 years ago. She was able to take those small, repetitive monthly tasks completely off my plate. So I would have the bandwidth and the energy to work on the things that were really important to the company, that would really light me up, really help our customers, really support our team. And we can do that with AI now. So it's all about, we've got our executive assistant, Willie. He's amazing. And we're now going to, or are implementing new AI employees into the business. And quite frankly, these are employees that never existed before. So we're not replacing employees, but we're taking tasks away from people that either they weren't doing well, they weren't focused on, they weren't skilled on, or it was just burying their time and their bandwidth. We're taking all of those tasks away, and we're creating AI employees, whether it's around finance, whether it's around marketing or sales or customer service or follow-up. We're taking all of these tasks and we're giving it to AI engines that work 24/7, are never tired, always have energy for the tasks, except when, ChatGPT crashes occasionally, but we're using multiple tools, not just ChatGPT. And I think this is this next stage. I think 5 years from now, I'll be talking about this moment in 2025, where for myself, my staff, and my clients, we are pulling away some pain in the business, some tasks, some mental effort, some bandwidth robbers away from them, and giving them the space to really continue to focus and work on the business and become more valuable for their employees, their customers, themselves, their family at home. And I'm really excited to look back in a few years and see what 2025 did for the business, just like I can look back to that moment of when we hired that executive assistant, and look back to that moment where we finally brought a bookkeeper on. And, there's all these other micro moments of buying back my time or my team's time with software or processes or SOPs that happen over the years. I'm just kind of giving you kind of the big moments on that 15-year timeline. But I think 2025, if we embrace AI and embrace AI agents or employees, as I like to call them, I think we can look at this as like this next step where we finally can get closer or all the way there to having a business that, fuels our interests, feeds our families, feeds our employees' families, and really lights us up and creates a place where we like to be or go to every single day. So, if you're somebody that is thinking, wow, this sounds amazing, I should get a bookkeeper, go get a bookkeeper. If you're somebody that doesn't have an EA, go get an EA. But if you're also probably more commonly someone that's saying, okay, you know what, I've been fearful about AI, and now I really want to start to lean in and get curious, just reach out to us. We've got some frameworks. You can go onto our website. We've got, an AI automation free playbook you can have, and a whole bunch of other free tools. But I'd say let's start getting curious and leaning in and creating one AI employee at a time. And we can help you set that up. We can help you get there. And again, we've got some free resources on our site. But if you can lean in like we're leaning in for ourselves and our customers, I think 2025, definitely 2026 could be the most exciting year in your business ever. That in 5 years, you're looking back on this time as kind of excited and happy as I know that I will be. So I hope this is helpful. And again, if you need anything else from me or from my team, you can go to our website. Lots of free resources there.